Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. This video is to guide you with the completion of today's mathematics worksheet. Before we start, I hope you've had a restful weekend. We are in week 10, so hooray, we're in the last week before the holidays. It's been an interesting term, no doubt, but you've all done very well to persevere and I guess, yeah, survived so far. I know it hasn't been easy. Personally, I know it's been very difficult for me to have to do home learning in the sense that we can't teach in person. But hopefully in the near future we can return to face-to-face learning, especially considering it's your final year in primary. Okay, so today's video, I'm just going to go through one question from each section on your activity, and hopefully that will assist you with the completion of the others. So let's start with section 1. So I'm going to do the first question, and it's asking me 4x plus 10 equals 30. So what I'm trying to find here, of course, is x. 4 times what plus 10 gives me 30. Now, of course, as previously noted, your knowledge of inverse operations is very crucial here. So there are two ways you can do it. Now, one way is this plus 10 here. I want to remove it, so my question just simply has 4x equals something. So to get rid of this plus 10, I just subtract 10. Because now I can pretend it's just gone like that. Okay, and then what I'll do to this side, I must also do here. So now this 30 becomes a 20. So 4x now equals 20. Now, I know most of you can do this in your head right away. If 4x equals 20, then just 1x alone, which is, we don't say 1x, we just say x. So x would just be 20 divided by 4, which is 5, because we know 4 times 5 or 5 times 4 is 20. Okay, that's one way you can do it. Another way is, I'm going to copy this over here. So I can use this and show that I'm bringing it to the other side. When I bring it to the other side, it becomes, or it starts off as a positive, bring it over, becomes a negative. So 4x equals 20, same as the previous method. Okay. Now, if I want to, I can show the full working out where I'm going to now divide the 20 divided by 4. Now 4x divided by 4 as well. Because when I do it this way, you can see these two will cancel each other out. And then all I have left is x equals 20 divided by 4, which is 5. So same answer, slightly different method. And of course, we want to encourage you to use the method you are comfortable with. Okay, who knows, you might know another method that could be more efficient or something you are more comfortable with. Okay, but hopefully you get to that point where you can do it mentally in your head. And that comes with practice, of course. We don't expect you to do that from the get-go. All right, let's move on to our next example. So example 2, okay, x divided by 2 plus 11 equals 19. So I'm trying to find out x. So something divided by 2 plus 11 equals 19. So let's start with the fact that this whole answer needs to equal what? Now, I can bring this 11 over, becomes minus 11, so it has to equal 8. Okay, I'm trying to find a number that goes here that will give me 8, because 8 plus 11 equals 19. Okay, so I'm just going to take that back. Now, this is where my inverse comes into play. So x divided by 2. Now, because I started with a divide here, all I need to do now is work out 2 something times 2. Hold on. Let's go back here. I'll do it this way. Okay, so you can see my full working out procedure. Yep. So x divided by 2 equals 8. Now, opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply these two numbers, 2 and 8. Okay, so 2 times 8 equals 16. X is 16. And we want to double check that. We can put it in our equation here. I'll just put it in uncle over here. 16 divided by 2 plus 11 equals 19. So 16 divided by 2, 8. 8 plus 11 equals 19. So I know my answer is correct. And of course, you might do this mentally, or you might have done this a different way as well. All right, example 3. So before we start, just keep in mind that we're not applying BODMAS here. We're not going to do x plus 2 and then get 2x. Because if you do that, you'll end up with a question that just looks like 6x equals 15. And that's not what we want. Okay, so let me put that out of the way. So we're going to multiply the 3 we want inside the brackets. So 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 2, 6. And the positive we keep. Oops, looks like a T. Okay, 3x plus 6 equals 15. Alright, so 3 times something plus 6 equals 9. Okay, so I can use my either method. I can do minus 6 here, minus 6 here. Then it becomes 3x equals 9. 3 times y equals 9. Very straightforward, 3. Okay, so you can do it with the working out. Okay, cross them out, x equals 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Okay, so there are many ways you can do it. With a question like this, you could probably do it mentally in your head. You just think to yourself, okay, 3x plus 6 equals 15. So 3 times something must equal 9, because 9 plus 6 equals 15. Okay. But of course, your examples in this section will be a bit trickier than the first example you have. Okay, but hopefully you're able to apply the steps I've just showed you in all the other questions. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Okay, example 4. X plus 8 equals 3x. Okay, so now I want to bring this x over here, and because it's not a negative, it's a positive, when I bring it over, it will become like that. 3x minus x, and although it will look like that, you can still solve it. Okay, if you want, if you're fussed about the order, turn it over. 2x equals 8, 2 times what equals 8, easy peasy, x equals 4. Okay, now let's test it and put it in to see if it actually makes sense. So let's pretend this x is a 4. 4 plus 8. Does it balance out? 3x, 3 times 4, because we're saying that x is 4. 3 4s make 12. Okay, so, oops, this should be a plus, my bad. Yep, very frustrating using the mouse, but there we go. So 12 on this side, 12 on this side as well. So now our answer is equal. All right, let's move on to our last one. Now, this time you have your like terms. You have 2 that have your x, and then 2 that just have your number there. Okay, and same thing, we still need to use our lines of inverse. So I'm going to start off with this 2, and I want to bring it over to this side. And because it's a positive, when I bring it over, it becomes a negative. Okay, so now it's a 10. Now, I want to bring this 4x. Now it's a positive at the moment. I'm going to bring it to this side because I want my like terms to be on separate sides. So I want my x with my numeral, per numeral, to be on this side, and my number just be here. So 9x minus 4x, because when I bring it over, it changes to a negative. So that equals 5x. Okay, 5x equals 10, and now I just divide it. Divide by 5, divide by 5, cancel it out, x equals 2. Okay, now let's put in our equation to double check, or let's go through it. Okay, 9x, so 9 times 2 is 18, 18 plus 2, 20. Okay, now if I go over to this one, so let's put it here first, that equals 20. Okay, 4x, so 4 times 2, 8, 8 plus 12, 20. 20 equals 20. So my equation balances. Now I know my answer is correct. Okay, now I know a lot of you might perhaps through tutor have done this a different way, but I'm just teaching some of the possible methods you can use. Of course, if you have a different method you're comfortable with, then by all means use that method, as long as you get the correct answer at the end of the day. That's okay, and if possible, we do like to see you working out, because we want to see how you got your answer. Okay, being able to explain how you got your answer is a very important skill, and you are heading into high school where the way you are graded and marked most of the time, let's say this question, it might be something you get graded out of 3. And if you just write your answer x equals 2, you might just get a 1. But if you show all your working out, the person marking your work will give you the full mark, 3 out of 3. And I'm sure your teacher has mentioned that, or you've already noticed that with your assessments, whether at school or tutoring or wherever it is. Alright, hopefully this video was somewhat helpful with your worksheet. And of course, like you guys, you can always ask for assistance on Seesaw or Google Classroom, and I'm sure your teachers would be more than happy to assist you. Until next time, make sure you stay fit and active, don't spend too long on the screen, and hopefully I get to see all of you soon. Adios!